This is one video we hoped we would never have to make. However, we learned some life lessons the hard way, and we want to share them with you. So if something like this does happen to you, hopefully you can get your life squared away or back to normal a little bit sooner and easier than we did.
Definitely.
Hi, my name's Dan.
I'm Dina, and we are Rivers to Ridges RV. If you watched our short from last week, you probably know that we were robbed. I say robbed. We had our car windows smashed and property stolen from us. We feel violated. We felt sick to our stomachs. We felt like we couldn't think straight and get ourselves together. We had family visiting and put a little bit of a damper on their visit. But however, this is just a reminder, no matter if you're part-time RVing, full-time RVing, traveling this beautiful country of ours, there's a real world out there. Things happen. There's a real world out there. No matter where you are, things happen.
So let's go over, first of all, what exactly happened to us, and then some of the lessons that we learned, some of the tips that we want to pass along with you. So this all started in Central Oregon, and before we go any further, we're not saying anything bad about Oregon at all.
No.
We love Oregon. It's a beautiful state.
Nice people.
We spent some time in Bend, Oregon. We actually stayed in a KOA about a half hour, 45 minutes north of Bend, next to a town called Culver, Oregon. Great little KOA, extremely peaceful. The views were just unbelievable. We could see Mount Hood, Mount Jefferson.
One of our favorite campgrounds.
Yeah, one of our favorites.
Beautiful.
We did get to spend 4 days, I believe it was, at Smith Rock State Park, and again, if you've never been there, it's just a beautiful little small state park. So this has nothing bad with Oregon at all. But what happened was, our son and one of his climbing buddies, they're rock climbers, they came up to visit us for a long weekend, and they wanted to climb at Smith Rock. And we spent a couple days there at Smith Rock. They were doing a lot of climbing. Dina finally got to do a little bit of hiking again since her knee surgery. So she really enjoyed that. And of course, rodeo. Always loves going out for walks. So we did spend a couple days in Smith Rock, just really enjoying ourselves, and the scenery was just unbelievable. We did have a down day. Our son and his friend, they wanted to take a day off to relax, and it worked out because it was actually just a rainy day and wouldn't have been a good day to climb anyways. So on this rainy day, we decided to go into Bend. We spent some time, driving around there. We went to the last Blockbuster. That was kind of neat.
It was neat.
But we also went to a place called Redmond Caves, and Redmond is just north of Bend, about 20 minutes roughly, somewhere there, 20, maybe 30 minutes at the most. So we went to a place called Redmond Caves, and it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's off of kind of a side road, and literally there's nothing really there. There's a small parking place. There were a couple cars there when we arrived. And we did go in our son's car, so we were all in an SUV. Now, Redmond Caves are not very big. There's like 4 or 5 caves there, and you can probably walk through all of them in less than 45 minutes. I think most of them you go from one end to the other, and then maybe they're only like 100 yards long at the most. So they're pretty quick, pretty quick to go through. Now what we did, and I'll admit the mistake that we made, was we left a lot of our stuff in the car. We just didn't want to carry it. We did leave some camera equipment in there and some other stuff on the floor of the back seat. Again, it was raining out. We just didn't want to carry the stuff, so we left it in the back seat.
Our mistake.
Yeah, that was our mistake. Now, in our defense, we both grew up in small towns in Florida, and we just don't think this way. Again, we know there's a real world. Yeah, we know there's a real world out there. Things like this happen. It's just not the way we think. We just don't think that way. So, lesson learned. There's a real world out there. So when we came back from the caves, again, it was only maybe a half hour, 45 minutes later, we noticed our son's back window to the back side window was smashed in, and of course they got all of our stuff, everything that we left in the back seat, or the floor of the back seat. They took it all. So we went through the normal process. My son, it was his car, so he filed a police report. We took pictures with Dina's cell phone, and we had the GoPro. We did take
Because
the
your cell phone was stolen.
Yeah, because mine was stolen.
Yeah.
So we did take some pictures. We filed a police report, and the kind of, I guess, the normal stuff you would kind of go through. And I do have to admit, we probably weren't thinking straight. This not like this has never happened to us.
Yeah.
So some of the things that we're going to talk about, some of the tips, if we would have followed them, hopefully the bad guys wouldn't have got to go on a shopping spree the way they did.
Yeah.
So let's just go through some of the tips. Tip number 1, again, this is extremely basic, and I kind of already mentioned it. Don't leave valuables in a vehicle. Again, we grew up in
where you are.
We grew up in small towns. We're very trusting people. We just don't think that way. So we just don't assume it's nothing like this ever going to happen.
We know it's a different world today than it was when we were growing up, but still, it's
just not in our nature.
No.
It just and that's a tough lesson for us, right? We have to face it, I guess. Now we have to face it that things like this can happen. So tip number 1, just don't leave anything valuable in your car. Either leave it back home or take it with you. Now, where we started getting into some problems was after the fact, trying, we had some credit cards stolen. That was a big thing, and bank cards stolen. So the first thing you want to do is really try to cancel those cards as quick as possible. And this gets into another tip. Dina had her credit card stolen. We don't carry, maybe 1 or 2 is it. I still had mine because mine was in my wallet, which was on me. So tip is, if you can, I know everybody's going to be different. We kind of have joint accounts with everything. I do know some people will have separate accounts, but we do have a joint account. But we also have separate credit card numbers. Now they still point back to the same account. They're just separate credit card numbers. So what this does for you is when we eventually got Dina's credit card canceled or locked, I still have my credit card. So we're still waiting for Dina to get her card in the mail. It could take, I believe,
still almost 2 weeks.
Up to 10 business days. We didn't put a rush on it because we just don't really need it that bad. But because we have 2 separate credit card numbers, we are able to cancel her credit card. I still have mine. So, we're traveling. We're full time.
Which,
so
thank God.
Yeah. We still have a credit card for, campgrounds, fuel, food, anything else we need. We're still able to do that. If we had the same exact credit card number, we had to cancel hers. Now if it was a travel day, we needed to buy fuel, we could maybe possibly be in a situation where we couldn't do it. So this is just something to think about. Separate credit card numbers, probably something worthwhile having. The next big lesson that we learned was keeping your bank accounts and credit card accounts, the contact information up to date. One of our accounts I tried to get into, and of course, once you get on the phone with customer service after your 45-minute wait,
at least.
They need to validate you. They need to verify you are who you say you are, and I'm glad they do, right? But one of our accounts, we had some old contact information on there. So, if I had the correct contact information, it would have been very simple. They could have sent a text to, or actually in my case, my phone was stolen. So they could have sent an email. They could have sent me an email, and I could have validated through an email account. However, I didn't have my current email on my account or my contact information. I only had my telephone number on there, or my cell phone number on there. My cell phone was stolen. So they go to try to validate me. The only way to validate me is by sending a text to my cell phone number. So keep your contact information up to date. You never know when you're going to need it, and this includes phone numbers, email addresses, home addresses, all that. Keep it up to date. Now another part of that is, this is just another tip, and this is something we do now on all our accounts. Getting,
now.
hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
If this happens, something like this happens to you, one of the hardest things is getting back into your accounts, trying to, get your accounts squared away again. And again, with me, my phone was stolen, and I use multi-factor authentication. So what that means, if you're not familiar with that, is when I log into one of my accounts, I have an app on my phone with some random numbers that come up every 30 seconds to a minute, and I have to enter those numbers in. So because my phone was stolen, I couldn't use my multi-factor authentication, so I couldn't get into my account. Now this goes back to trying to verify me again, and this is another tip. Instead of just having your contact information on your account, if you can, put additional contact information on there as well. So now what we do is, not only is my cell phone number on my account, or our accounts, we have Dina's cell phone number on there as well, and also Dina's email address. So what this does for you is, again, in my particular case, my phone was stolen. They're trying to validate me by sending a text to my phone. I can't get it because I don't have my phone. If Dina's information was on my account, they could have sent a text to Dina's phone or sent an email to Dina's email address.
Yeah.
That would have saved a lot of hassle.
Yeah.
Now, what happened to us for this one particular account, I had no way to get validated. I didn't have Dina's information on there. I only had my phone number on there. There was no way for them to validate me. And I'm kind of stuck. I can't get into my account. I can't do anything. Finally, the lady helping me asked me for the last 6 digits of the account that I pay my credit card with. So this is a different bank. This is a completely different account that I used to pay my credit card with. So okay, so now I have a way, but now I have to get into that other banking account, or that checking account. I kind of run into the same problem. I can't get in because they want to authenticate me by sending a text to my phone. Luckily, this other account, it happened to be USAA. Luckily, they were able to validate me another way. I got some information, the information I needed. I had to go back to the original person, talk to them. I gave them the last 6 digits of the account that I use, and now they were able to validate me. This took quite a while. I was between the two places at least hour and a half at least, if not longer than that.
This is today's world. High technology is great, right? Until
something like this happens.
Man.
So this gets me back to my original account, the original person I was talking to. I gave them the information they needed, and now I finally got validated into the first account. And at this point, I was able to, tell them to, cancel cards. Update all my account information, phone numbers, addresses, and things like that. So again, just a tip, try to have more than one way to contact you if you can.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that happened to us was, and this, again, when all this happened, we weren't thinking straight. I'll admit it. We weren't
all over the place.
Yeah, we're just not thinking straight. The first thing I wanted to do was to cancel the cards that were stolen. I wanted to cancel those. The way I was thinking, though, was I thought I would have to wait till we got back to the RV.
Yeah.
I could log into my account, get into the account, and lock those cards. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Again, we had the same account, just different credit cards. I still had my credit card in my wallet.
Yeah.
What I should have done is just take the credit card out of my wallet. On the back, there's usually always a customer service number on there, and I should have just called the customer service number, wait on hold for 45 minutes, and then tell them the card was stolen and cancel it as soon as possible. As it was, we were 20-30 minutes away from the RV, so that gives the bad people that much more time, and they took advantage of it to go shopping on my credit card. Now, we're not responsible
on my credit card.
On your credit card, yeah. We aren't responsible for that, but I don't want them to get anything, as least amount as possible. So just be aware of that. If something like this does happen, if you do happen to have the same account, another credit card, just look on the back of the credit card for a customer service number. Now this does bring up one additional tip. Honestly, I don't think most people would do this, but I'll throw it out there just in case. If you do have multiple credit cards or bank accounts, things like that you're concerned with, it just takes a minute to write on a piece of paper or somewhere that someplace that you feel safe, customer support numbers, maybe the fraud prevention numbers or support numbers, things like that for each of your cards, and just put that in a safe place. So again, for us, when all this happened, we forgot we had it was a benefits card. I forgot all about that. We didn't even think about that.
Medical benefits card.
Yeah, and now luckily they didn't try to use it.
They probably didn't realize it.
Or they did. They didn't have the PIN number.
Because you can use that as a regular credit card.
Yeah, so we didn't even realize one of the cards was in her wallet. If we would have had a list of our credit cards, maybe they're, again, fraud prevention phone numbers, or at least customer support phone numbers, written down somewhere in a safe place, maybe multiple copies, maybe one person carries a copy and the other person carries a copy, or you just keep a copy in a safe place. We would have been able to realize, oh yeah, this credit card was in there, here's the phone number, let's call them right now and cancel that card. So these are some of the things that we learned the hard way. Again, this took us quite a while. Actually, we're still working on it. The one credit card, they did
go on a shopping spree very quickly.
And the credit card company did remove one of the charges from our credit card, but there's still 3 charges on there. So now, the charges are under investigation. I have to check daily to make sure they do come off eventually, or I get credited for them. I'm sure they will over time. But again, it's just a hassle. If I was able to maybe cancel that card a little bit sooner, maybe 1 or 2 of those charges wouldn't be on my credit card now.
And the other thing, because I don't want us to forget to add this also proves how important it is to lock your phone, to have a PIN.
Very.
Well, I used to never lock my phone.
Yeah, I had to talk you into it.
Yeah, for over a year now, I've been. But I mean, well over a year now it's been. But yeah, before I never had my phone locked, and man. Yeah,
so again, my phone was stolen, and luckily I do have it locked, and it's it's not just a 1, 2, 3, 4 passwords. There's no way they're getting it. But if they were able to unlock my phone, there's a world of information in there too. So I'm glad I forgot all about that. But cell phones, please make sure you lock them. Put a password on there. Now I know it's kind of a pain. Dina didn't do it for years. I finally talked her into doing it. But there are some steps you can take to make it a little bit easier for you. You can set up, at least on Android phones, or the ones that we have, you can set up not safe devices, or I'm trying to think of the correct word, but if you're on your own Wi-Fi, let's say as an example, if your phone's attached to your Wi-Fi network, it considers it safe and it won't lock. You won't have to unlock your screen all the time. If it's paired like to my truck, so we're going down the road and it's paired to our F350, it will never lock because it's recognized as that.
I was going to say F150 pulling this thing. I don't think pulling this 43-foot monster.
But there are ways to make it a little bit easier on you, so you don't have to unlock it all the time. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully some of these tips can help you. Well, hopefully you never have to use them.
Yeah.
If you do, I do hope they help you out.
And I just would like to say, I hope the little thieves that took our property have subscribed to our channel. I had my purse full of Rivers to Ridges stickers. I hope they're watching.
And if you are watching, subscribe and hit the like button, because we need all the subscribers we can get, even the bad ones.
Yes, please do. And even if you have something nice to say or something ugly to say, go for it.
Or you can leave a comment how much you like my camera.
Or how much you like my purse.
Anyways.
Seriously, guys, thanks so much for watching. We hope that you enjoyed the video. We hope that it really helps you out in the future, or gives you a little bit of something to think about that maybe you hadn't thought about before. But seriously, thank you for watching.
And as always, remember, always live life to the fullest.
God bless and have a great week.